thrombosis? Any idea? Intravascular solidification is called thrombus. Thrombus in Latin means blockade. Blockade. Jamming of blood traffic in the blood vessels, and it is formed within the blood vessels. Blockade within blood vessels due to clumping of formed elements of blood, RBC, WBC, platelets, anything can get clotted and clogged. Okay. Abdulaziz Gwidi, Anas, Mishari Alatevi, Duadami. If you have any doubts regarding your attendance, you please convey the message on WhatsApp, okay? So thrombosis affects the arteries. It can affect the major organs. The worst thing to occur is myocardial infarction due to coronary thrombosis. Coronary artery thrombosis. Yes. It's the major difficulty. It's a major disease in the developing world, developing countries, all of them. Because of their change in the lifestyle, they developed this disease. Yes. So here we see we have cut open an artery, and artery is having a block. It is a thrombus. So it's a formation of a solid mass of blood constituents. It can be a blood clot. Hello? Why there is echo? In an intact blood vessel of heart, in a living person, and the solid mass is called as thrombus. Okay? So thrombus is a formation of a solid mass, mainly by the constituents of blood, in an intact blood vessel. The blood vessel should be intact, and it can occur within a heart, within the heart chambers. Thrombus can occur within the heart chambers also, along the cardiovascular system, vein, artery, capillary, anywhere it can occur, intact blood vessel. And it is formed by the constituents of blood, RBC, WBC, platelet, all those things. So regulated by three components. First and foremost is endothelium. The health of the endothelium represents the health of your body. Endothelial injury leads to all sorts of problems. Inflammation of endothelium leads to all sorts of problems. Platelets and coagulation cascade. Endothelium, platelets, and coagulation cascade maintain the normal fluidic state of blood. Fluidic state, hemostasis. Hemostasis. So normal blood vessel with the intact endothelium, basement membrane formed by subendothelial collagen. So the endothelial health, the blood vessel and the blood flow, and the constituents of the blood, that is the coagulation cascade, the platelets within, all are important in maintaining the normal blood flow. The normal blood flow, as we have studied in inflammation, is called, otherwise called as the laminar flow, laminar flow. So here we see here nicely the larger cells are within streamlined blood flow. Streamlined blood flow. RBCs are to the center, almost to the center. The blood vessel, the blood flow will occur. Blood flow will occur. Laminar flow. Sequence of events leading to the site of vascular injury. So any injury to the endothelium, breakage in the endothelium, exposure of the endothelial collagen to the surface will attract platelets, Platelets adhere to the collagen or the extracellular matrix via a factor called as von Willebrand factor. Von Willebrand, W-I-L-L-E, brand, B-R-A-N-D, Willebrand. Von Willebrand was the French scientist who first identified this factor, which is responsible for the formation of platelet plug. This is a platelet plug. The platelet will go and adhere to the extracellular matrix and close the defect in the endothelium. Granules release adenosine diphosphate and thromboxane. Thromboxane A2. You might have come across this element in inflammation. Thromboxane. Yes, thromboxane A2. So this release of thromboxane A2 will further aggregate platelets, further attraction of platelets, and platelet plug is formed by activation of coagulation cascade. The first formation of platelet within the endothelial breach is called as primary hemostatic plug. Primary hemostatic. Hemostatic means stoppage of blood. Stasis means stoppage. Hemo means blood. Blood stoppage plug formed by the platelets is the primary. Then activation of the coagulation cascade will occur, and coagulation cascade tissue factor, which is important factor which is released, which is called as the kallikrein. And by injured endothelium, it releases the tissue factor. The tissue factor, in fact, enhances the activation of coagulation cascade. And platelet factors, platelet activating factor, PAF, platelet derived growth factor, PDGF, all are factors which stimulate or activate the coagulation cascade, and the secondary plug is formed. Secondary hemostatic plug, where is the major formation from fibrinogen to fibrin. Fibrinogen is the plasma protein present in major component of the plasma, and this will get converted to fibrin. Fibrin is the meshwork which stabilizes the primary plug, primary hemostatic plug, and forms a firm plug which will stop bleeding, So hemostatic plug, damaged blood vessel, media of the muscular wall or the endothelium or adventitia, and formation of platelet plug, and formation of platelet plug is followed by fibrin strands, which enhances the stability of the primary plug, and this is called as the secondary plug. The pathogenesis of thrombosis lies on Virchow triad. Rudolf Virchow was a Czechoslovakian. Later he got his nativity from India, from America. Lord Virchow is the father of modern medicine, and Virchow's triad. We have even in inflammation he has explained the cardinal signs of inflammation were shown. And Virchow's triad, the pathogenesis lies on endothelial injury, stasis or turbulence of blood flow, and blood hypercoagulability. Hypercoagulation of blood, stasis or turbulence or disruption of normal laminar flow, and endothelial injury. Endothelial injury is main. This will lead to stasis and turbulence. That will lead to hypercoagulability of blood, and blood coagulates. This forms thrombosis. This forms thrombosis. So here we will try to understand this Virchow's triad. Virchow's triad, endothelial injury, abnormal blood flow, hypercoagulability are the three pillars which form thrombosis. Okay. So this is called as Virchow's triad. And important endothelial injury is important in thrombus formation within cardiac chambers and arteries. The causes are ulcerated plaques in the atherosclerosis arteries. Atherosclerosis is an inflammatory process which damages the tunica intima and deposits fat, lipid within the blood vessel. This is the major cause for endothelial injury, which leads to thrombus formation. Next is infarction, myocardial infarction, damage to the blood vessels. Thrombosis of the blood vessels will lead to infarction. Infarction in the blood vessels will lead to myocardial infarction, which will lead to endothelial injury, thrombus formation within the cardiac chambers. Inflammation of blood vessels, vasculitis, inflammation of the blood vessels, either due to autoimmune, antigen antibody, or due to toxins. Nicotine is an important toxin derived from cigarettes, common toxin, which will cause damage to the blood vessels. Okay, and bacterial products, endotoxins, exotoxins derived from the bacteria can also damage the blood vessels. Okay, and endothelial injury in atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is a major important disease which causes vascular thrombosis. Endothelial dysfunction, hypertension. Hypertension causes dysfunction of the endothelium because of increased pressure within the blood vessels. Due to constant pressure, the endothelium will sustain injury. Cigarette smoking, I told you, nicotine. Okay. And bacterial endotoxins, hemodynamic stress. Hemodynamic stress again relates to hypertension. Hemodynamic stress. So prothrombotic factors are platelet adhesion molecules called as von Willebrand factor, tissue factors, kallikrein, plasminogen activating factor, and antithrombotic factors are thrombomodulin, PGI2, prostaglandin I2. Prostaglandin I2 is antithrombotic and it prevents thrombosis. So this we have given as a drug for people who suffer from heart attacks. We will give prostaglandin I2 and tissue plasminogen activator. Tissue plasminogen activator is a polypeptide which is circulating in the body and prevents formation of thrombus. So this is the balance. Prothrombotic, if it increases, it will cause thrombosis. Antithrombotic, if it increases, it will dissolve the thrombus, break down the thrombus. In them, the thrombomodulin, it is protective to the heart as well as the blood vessels. PGI2, prostaglandin I2, tissue plasminogen activator are common factors which will act as antithrombotic and prevent thrombus formation. Alterations in the normal blood flow, apart from endothelial injury, turbulence in the blood flow, turbulence, narrowing of blood vessel, hypertension, disturbs the laminar flow, disturbs the laminar flow. All the blood vessels, in the blood vessels, the blood cells are moving at the center of the flow. Whenever there is disruption, whenever there is turbulence in the blood flow, this laminar flow is disrupted. It is called as turbulence. Turbulence. Stasis. Prevent dilution of activated clotting factors by fresh blood and retard the flow of clotting factor inhibitors. Retard the flow of clotting. Anywhere a blockade, anywhere stasis, anywhere blockade in the blood vessels will lead to lack of dilution of activated clotting factors and retard the flow of factor inhibitors. Factor inhibitors. So, stasis. Conditions which cause stasis are ulcerated atherosclerotic plaques. Ulcerated atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis will elevate the subendothelium because there is deposition of fat within the subendothelium. The subendothelium will rise and will cause blockade. Aneurysm, dilatation of the blood vessels, that also will cause stasis. That also will cause stasis because laminar flow is disrupted. Laminar flow is disrupted. Suddenly, water moving in one inch pipe, if you suddenly dilate the pipe to 2 inches, there will be sudden turbulence, stasis. Okay, because the pressure falls. Pressure falls. Myocardial infarction, stasis. Myocardial infarction. Mitral stenosis, left atrial dilatation leads to stasis. Mitral stenosis is the mitral valve which narrowing of the mitral valve. The mitral valve is situated between the left atrium and the left ventricle. This will cause pressure in the left atrium because left atrium has to pump blood to the left ventricle. So what happens when the valve is closed? The atrium will enlarge. So atrial dilatation will lead to stasis of blood, will lead to stasis. This stasis will give rise to thrombus formation. Hyperviscosity, cigarette smoking, I told you, increases the viscosity in blood. It increases the viscosity. Again, another disease called as sickle cell anemia, wherein the RBCs are defective. The RBCs undergo sickle shaped. Sickle means C-shaped. C. It will occur like a moon, half moon, sickle shape. And this sickling of the RBC is called as sickle cell disease. Sickle cell disease. And this sickle cell disease will cause intravascular thrombosis. Intravascular thrombosis. Hypercoagulable state, alteration in the coagulation pathway predisposes to thrombus formation. There are two types of hypercoagulable state, primary and secondary. Primary is genetic. Secondary is acquired due to smoking. Chronic smokers. Okay. Primary, it is due to genetic disease wherein there is anti-cardiolipin antibodies. Anti-cardiolipin, anti-HLA antibodies. This will cause hypercoagulation. Increased in the coagulation factors and leading to coagulation in the body. The cause is not known. Cause is not known. Mutation in factor 5, lead-in mutation. We call it mutation in the factor 5. Lead-in mutation is a common cause for intravascular thrombosis. Primary genetic disorder which leads to hypercoagulable state. Hypercoagulable. Antithrombin 3 deficiency. Antithrombin 3 is antithrombotic. Antithrombotic. This is also a genetic defect. Antithrombin 3 deficiency in the blood, antithrombotic factor, will lead to primary genetic disease leading to hypercoagulation. Hypercoagulation. So secondary acquired, high risk, prolonged bed rest, tissue damage, cancer. Secondary disease, prolonged bed rest. If a person does not move his limbs, blood will tend to stay longer in the dependent parts and leads to blood clotting. Prolonged bed rest is one of the, so we will give physiotherapy. We will come and massage. The physiotherapist will come and massage his body such that blood circulation will be intact. Tissue damage. Damage to the tissue leads to again bed rest. Cancer will also lead to hypercoagulation. Low risk, oral contraceptives. Oral contraceptives lead to decreased estrogen, okay, or increased estrogen. Both of these conditions will lead to hypercoagulable state, hypercoagulation. Smoking, as I told you, is a secondary cause, low risk factor, which leads to hypercoagulation and thrombosis. But very common. Smoking is very common. It is a low risk, but very common. Okay? Because if you stop smoking, the hypercoagulable state immediately reverses to normal. Okay? So morphology of the thrombus. Thrombus may develop anywhere in the cardiovascular system, within the cardiac chambers, valve cusp, valve of the mitral valve cusps, tricuspid valve cusps, wherever it can occur. Arteries, veins, capillaries. They are variable in size and shape. So in the heart, the major pathogenic factor is endothelial injury or turbulence of blood, mitral stenosis, atrial dilatation, ventricular dilatation. All these things will lead to stasis of blood, turbulence of blood. And in venous system, it is always due to stasis. When the veins dilate abnormally, abnormal dilatation of the veins will lead to, or pressure over the veins. Pregnancy leads to pressure over the internal iliac vein, that will back pressure, and pregnant women will develop varicose veins, dilated veins in the lower limb. It is called varicosity. Morphology of thrombus in the heart, major blood vessels, they are called as mural thrombi. Mura means cavity, wall. They are attached to the wall and present within the cavity. They are called as mural thrombi. In the arteries, most common sites, coronary artery. Coronary artery is the commonest site. 70% of thrombosis occurs in the arteries in the coronaries. Cerebral, next 20-25%. Femoral, 5 to 10%. Femoral. And arteries are occlusive thrombi. Occlusive means complete occlusion, blockade of the blood vessel. So in the veins, they propagate in the direction of blood flow. From below to above. From below to above towards the heart. They move towards the heart. In arteries, they tend to grow in retrograde fashion. In the arteries, they will grow from the heart towards the limbs. Retrograde in the arteries. Whereas in the vein, progressive, propagate along the direction towards the heart. So thrombus is firmly adherent to the blood vessel. A thrombus in heart, aorta, arteries show prominent lines of Zahn. Lines of Zahn are nothing but alternate layers of pale area formed by platelets and fibrin, and dark areas formed by RBCs. First platelets, then fibrin. Above that, RBC will form. Again a layer of platelets, again a layer of fibrin. So red and white. These lines are called as lines of Zahn. They can be seen on microscopy. You can see here lines of Zahn, red RBC, white fibrin platelets, lines of Zahn, ZAHN, lines of Zahn, red and white fibrin and platelets, lines of Zahn are microscopic features of thrombus. It's a prolonged chronic procedure. 1 year it will take to close the blood vessel. 1 year, 2 years. Okay? Lines of Zahn. Okay? White areas, platelets and fibrin. Red areas, RBCs. Intervening RBC and platelet, fibrin. So these layers, it occurs in layers, and these layers are called as lines of Zahn. Venous thrombosis, most common in the veins of the lower extremity. 90% occur in the veins of the lower extremity. Saphenous vein, long saphenous vein, short saphenous vein, femoral vein. So in order to frequency, deep cuff veins are more common, then femoral, then popliteal, then iliac veins. The venous thrombosis occurs due to stasis or hypercoagulable state because of the sluggish flow, more enmeshed RBCs, no lines of Zahn. Venous thrombus does not show lines of Zahn because plenty of RBC due to stasis. It occurs due to stasis. Whereas arterial thrombi occur due to arterial endothelial damage. So laying of fibrin is there, laying of platelet is there. Then over that RBCs will attach. Then again on another layer of platelets will come. So lines of Zahn are formed better in arterial thrombi. Fate of the thrombus. What happens to the thrombus? Most commonest is resolution. Resolution means after a war, peace. Fibrinolysis by plasmin. Plasmin is the prominent fibrinolyzer. It will break down the fibrin. So complete resolution will occur. It might take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, depends on the recovering stage of the person, recovering capacity of the person. So organization, another thing is, it can go within the blood vessel. Ingrowth of the smooth muscle cells, fibroblast and endothelial cells, they can ingrow or incorporate into the wall. This is called as organization. It will go inside the organ, that is the blood vessel. And next is recanalization. Breakage, fibrinolysis, breakage of the fibrin, anastomosis of the capillary channels, re-establish continuity of the lumen to a limited extent, and new capillary channels are formed, leading to recanalization. And next is embolization. Embolization is a portion of the thrombus dislodges and detaches itself from the thrombus and lodges to another site. Here, from the heart, it has come to the lungs. From the major arteries, from the vein, it has gone into the heart. Embolism. We call it embolism. Pulmonary emboli. From veins, the deep calf veins will lead to pulmonary embolism, because pulmonary blood vessels are very small, narrow. They will get stuck there. Thrombus embolization. This is angiogram. We will inject a dye into the blood vessel and take an X-ray. This is called as angiogram. This is angiogram of the brain. Middle cerebral artery. Okay. So thrombus, fate of the thrombus, fibrinolysis, then recanalization, organization, recanalization, and embolization. Spreading to other structures, other areas, dislodging and dissolution by fibrinolytic activity, organization, recanalization, propagation, eventually resulting in obstruction of vessels, embolization, central digestion with infection, and calcification. Calcification can also occur. Consequences of thrombus: obstruction to the arteries. Arterial thrombi leads to infarction. Venous thrombi leads to congestion of the tissue and source of emboli. Emboli means dislodging, part of the thrombus dislodging and getting attached or getting transmitted to the brain, heart, lungs, anywhere. Coronary thrombosis, heart attack. The major cause of heart attack is coronary thrombosis. Okay. Any doubts?
Thank you.
Thank you. So you have to read this thrombosis. One major is Virchow's triad. What is Virchow's triad? Pathogenesis of thrombosis and fate of thrombosis. Two important objectives we have covered. Then pathogenesis and fate. Okay. This if two, if you know. Morphology of thrombus, again we will study in the lab. In the lab we will see lines of Zahn. Lines of Zahn. Okay, thrombus. So that's all. I have taken your screenshot, and if time permits, I will call out your attendance. Okay.
Can we leave now?
Yes, you can leave. No problem. You can leave.